Dear reader, man, I love you more than any word could physically express. And I know that this all sounds meaningless, but please just hear me. Because this very moment has been 22 years in the making. And I'm told that my God knew me before he placed me in my mother's sweet, sweet, loving arms. And I've got to believe that he placed every single step to this very moment and that he's called it ours. Because we are all the same, no matter how much society tells us that we're not. And I know that God's children haven't been so kind to you since you were a child, but I promise that God did not design you to settle for this mediocrity while I practiced my piety. Man, reader, I love you more than you could ever know. I've loved you more and more every single time I've helped pick you up drunk from the floor. And I know that I haven't been so kind and I've pushed you to the very furthest corners of my mind. But I swear that despite my self-righteousness, that you don't have to puff your chest to be the tough kid. And I know that this world is not fair and that you've been rejected from time to time, but I tell you this with every single inch of my soul, that you are worth so much more than you've settled for. And dear Mom, I'm sorry that despite all of your warnings to me as a child, that I lived my life like I was some sort of exception. I mean, if I'm being completely honest with everybody, I've done a lot of things that I told her I wouldn't. Like promising to save myself from marriage while I fall asleep to the dreams of the girls that I broke that promise for. When I said I wouldn't be like all of my friends, finding the bottom of every single bottle and getting high. But Mom, honestly, I've done both of those in the same night. And dear Dad, I have told you and Mom every last dream I've ever had, and like the loving parents that you are, you have supported my pursuit of every star, and it doesn't matter how far it appeared. But I have repaid your love like the story of the prodigal son, year after year. I left your home a young, prideful boy, only to return as this broken beggar. And I am sorry for all of the years that I faked it until I made it. Because growing up, all of my friends taught me how to fake it until I make it. So I'm going to fake it every day, just like Adam did to hide the fact that he was naked. God, I fake it every day to hide the fact that I don't know how to make it, and I'm a fake. Wow. In every sense of the word, I have masked all of my insecurities tightly behind this facade of joy. And dear God, I'm sorry that I'm not the person that I've wanted you to believe that I am. God, I truly desire change, but honestly, I always stay the same. I would rather satisfy all of my lust than to be alone and trust you. I mean, I find myself waking up wanting to know that you're near, yet I'm too apathetic to pick up your letters to me and to find out what your heart has meant for me to hear. God, I am sorry for all the destruction that I have caused. We are all called to be builders of your kingdom, but God, all I've ever done is rip the base out from beneath it. But God, if you could save all the damage that I've ever done, and mend the hearts of every single person I've ever loved, and if drowning myself meant saving my friends and my family, then God, I want you to wrap those chains up so tightly to my feet and toss me into this raging sea, because God, quite honestly, this weight has gotten heavy. But there's a lot of peace to be found by the ocean side in this complex life of mine. And I often find myself sitting here on the east side enjoying the waves as they sway these ideas every which way in my mind. And your spirit, it rests over these waters, and when I'm here, I feel like I'm finally close to your presence. Father, I'm drawing close to you, so I'm praying that you're drawing close to me, because when I'm truly in your presence, God, I am free. Yeah. But it took me quite a while to realize that the key to my freedom has and always will be you. Yeah. And the moment I accepted you, that you broke every chain and conquered every struggle in my life, I find myself praying for you in those same struggles, night after night after night after night, deceiving myself into believing I'm locked into a fist fight for my own life. Woo! But what if I actually live my life like I believed every word to every song that I sing on a Sunday morning. Or like that when you said, it is finished, I finally received your victory. God, forgive me. I'm so good at taking my eyes off of you and focusing on the waves. But I pray that every time I start to sing, just like Peter did, that I remember what it's like to sit cliffside on Highway 1 and know that the love of your Son is never undone. God, I pray for a peace that floods me every time the complexity of life turns into a raging sea. God, help me in my days of unbelief. And help me to see that your love, that your friendship, that your purpose, and that your grace are truly sufficient for me.
Yeah.
Yet it will always be a mystery to me that the hands that molded the galaxies were the same hands that were stretched out to die for me. And the very hands that shaped me from the dust were the same hands that wrote in the dirt when the Pharisees brought the woman caught in lust. The same hands that calmed raging seas also washed his followers' feet. It will always be a mystery to me that the punishment you endured was meant for me. God, you took on every sin from the beginning to the end, and it built the bridge between God and man, and mended every heart the moment that yours was broken and poured out. And my pride, it pinned you to that cross. My selfishness formed the crown of thorns on your brow, and my lustful eyes pierced your side, yet you willingly died for the joy that was in your sight. Me. God, it will always be a mystery to me that because of your sacrifice, I now have life. And I pray the spark that you started would turn into a blaze, that I could carry that flame every day to reciprocate all the ways that you've shown me grace. God, that no longer would your children crush under the weight of culture, but they'd be shaped by us, because, Father, there is nothing more contagious than your love. But this city won't be won if I stay stuck in the rut of expecting things to change, yet I'm too hesitant to see the face of the one who already made the way. I mean, call me crazy, but I don't think all is lost. I think this city was always ours. There's just something that we forgot. Or maybe our fear was that it was far too severe, so we let it slip through our grasp year after year. Well, God, if you can hear me, then give me the strength to know that I'm not facing a losing battle. God, let your wisdom be enough to know that everything I'm fighting for is worth the cost. Let your promise to us be enough to know that not everything is lost. And I know that this land appears to be dry and empty, but God, I still believe that this is my city.
Yeah.